Hey guys, so in this video we're going to be doing a Q&A. So on Instagram you guys asked me a bunch of questions and I haven't done this in a while, so I thought I'll do this video and answer them here. Now if you want more of these Q&A videos, I can do one every month. Just let me know in the comment below so that I can hear you out. So guys, welcome back to the Start Your Fashion Business channel. My name is Stephanie and I'm your host. If you are new around here, then I want to give you a warm welcome. If you want to learn about all things fashion business, then you have come to the right place. I'm a sustainable brand owner and an ethical garment producer. I have a brand called This Is a Love Song and my production company where I help clients from all over the world with their branding, sampling, and production is called Untitled Studio. And you can check out those links in the description box below as well. And I'm also a fashion business coach, so if you want daily fashion business tips, make sure to check me out on Instagram at Start Your Fashion Business. So I've been in the fashion industry for over 12 years now, and I've gone through it all. First, I started my brand, This Is a Love Song, and it got me here where I'm now also a business coach, helping many of my students with starting and scaling their fashion business. So that's why I created this channel, because I want to share with you my tips and my experiences from being in the industry. So in this video, I'm purely doing a Q&A. So I'm going to be pulling out the questions from my phone. So question number one, how did you get started? So I got started after fashion business college. I went to a fashion business college called LaSalle for 2 years to study fashion business. And I thought that it would equip me to learn how to run my own fashion brand and be a fashion entrepreneur. But I was completely wrong because school taught me textbook material. So after I finished school, I wasn't fully prepared to have my own brand right away. So I moved to Bali then and I applied to become a visual merchandiser at a fashion company here. And I was in that position for a year. But on the side, I was always plotting on having my own business and creating my own fashion brand. However, my first fashion brand wasn't even my clothing line. It was a jewelry line called Rebirth. So I had Rebirth for about 2 years, and that jewelry brand really built up my confidence to become a fashion entrepreneur and to start my brand, This Is a Love Song. And eventually, I had to make the hard decision to quit my jewelry brand and put my full attention and full focus on This Is a Love Song. Now, 2 years into This Is a Love Song, that's when I decided to open Untitled Studio, because at this time, we were getting a lot of orders for wholesale from the US, and I needed to also create samples and make them much faster and have more control, and my manufacturer at the time couldn't really accommodate that. And on top of that, I also heard horror stories of how they were treating their staff. So I knew that I needed to set up my own studio in order to be able to treat my workers right, treat them fairly, and compensate them the way that I wanted. So Untitled Studio opened up, and at the beginning, we only had 2 sewers, 1 pattern maker, and 1 cutter. And we were just creating our samples and a little bit of our production. But soon enough, I ended up taking all of our production, growing our production team in-house, and then basically doing everything ourselves. Now, I really threw myself into all of this because I didn't really have much experience of having a clothing factory or having a clothing manufacturing studio. I only had experience with working at manufacturers at this point. So I really had to learn by doing, and the first year was really tough, and I wasn't producing for anyone but This Is a Love Song. But eventually, some of my friends who had fashion brands, they needed help with their samples and their production, and they came to me. So that's how we slowly started taking on clients on board. So it's been a crazy journey until now, and I mean, I'm so amazed at my team now and how we have clients from all over the world. And last year was when I launched the Start Your Fashion Business program, because I can only help so many fashion entrepreneurs at once with my company Untitled Studio. So with this course, the goal is that I can help as many of you as possible, and that's why we launched this course. Question number 2, how many pieces should you be creating at the beginning? Well, I'm a firm believer to over design, because you're not actually going to produce everything that you are designing. So typically I always design double So if I'm gonna have a 6 to 8 piece collection, I would create 16 designs and then I would narrow it from there. So if you want to learn more on how I design and what my design process looks like, check out this video for more information. Question number 3, how do you manage the inventory and what about the leftovers even after discounts? So I always look at past sales history to see what performs well, like which sizes I need to order, how many units I have to order. So I look at that and then I make my own judgment of what I think is going to work really well for the new collection. Now, of course, having my own studio is also an advantage for me because it means that I don't need to produce really high quantities. And what I typically do is I buy the fabric and sometimes I cut it only when the order gets placed. This way, I'm not over excessively producing and sitting on top of a large amount of inventory. Now, before when I was wholesaling, I was producing everything that all the wholesale orders were placed. So whatever the stores were placing, that's what I would be producing. And then I would make a small production run as well for my online store or any other stores that I had at the time. So, with that being said, it's just really important to really understand what works really well with your brand and finding a manufacturer that also allows you to produce things at a lower minimum. Now, of course, I wouldn't say go produce something just for 10 pieces because that's just not really going to make sense. You need to have some stock and enough stock for you to have proper cash flow for your business. So sometimes low stock is just not necessarily good for you, especially if you cannot replenish it on time. Question number 4, how do you determine your customer segment for sustainable fashion? So it's really important for any brand to do their research and to research their target market and have a customer overview. You need to determine who your ideal clients are. Who are these people? Why are they buying from you? Where do they live? You need to understand their demographic and the psychographic. And this is actually something that I really dive into inside the Start Your Fashion Business Accelerator program. So if you are really interested, then I would definitely invite you to check out the program. There's a link in the description box below. Question number 5, more specifically, if a sustainable brand has items priced over $100, how do you determine or find customers who will be willing to pay those prices? So again, this goes back to doing your research and figuring out who your ideal clients are. Because your ideal clients, they are not going to question your pricing as they see the value in your products. So if you are a sustainable fashion brand, you know that you are not going to be marketing to people that buy from Boohoo or Pretty Little Thing because those types of customers are into fast fashion and cheap fashion. So there's no point marketing to them. So if you know your ideal clients, you will also know where they hang out, and that's how you will find them. And if you have a solid brand, you will attract them as well. Question number 6, how do you come up with a content strategy for your blog and clothing line that's cohesive? So as a brand, you must know what your unique selling points are. You have to know what your brand values are, and all of these things will also be added into your brand style guide. Now, a brand style guide is not just about your logo and your colorway, but it's also about how you emotionally connect with your customers. And with that being said, I actually have a free training about this, and I'm gonna pop the link in the description box below. And in this 60-minute free training, you're going to learn how you can create a strong brand presence and create a brand that emotionally connects with your ideal customers. And at the end of the training, I also give you a free brand style guide template so that you can create a style guide for your brand. And this is really important because once you have this style guide and once you know your unique selling points and your brand values, then it will be much easier for you to think about what type of content to put out there. It's going to be really natural for you to set your content pillars so you know what you can talk about, you know what you have to post this month, and it's really a strong guideline that will keep your brand cohesive. So if you want to join that webinar, definitely check out the link in the description box below because it's really going to help you create your brand strategy. So guys, we are at the last question, and this is an important question. How are you doing accounting and what do you use? So when you're running your business, it's really important to implement an accounting software because you need to keep track of everything. Now, I'm not really a numbers person, but knowing your numbers as a business owner is really important, and you need to know how to crunch those numbers. So you have to have an accounting software that you use to keep track of all of your expenses, all your incoming and your outgoing. So the two that I use is Wave Accounting and QuickBooks, and there's a ton of different accounting softwares out there, but I highly recommend to check out Wave Accounting and QuickBooks because those two are really good, and Wave Accounting is even free. So if you don't yet want to pay for a monthly subscription such as QuickBooks, then Wave Accounting might be really good for you. Now, of course, down the line, it's really important to think about hiring an accountant because they can really help you save. They can help you make your financial projections and also do your taxes, and all of that is really absolutely important as well. So with that being said, I really hope this Q&A was super helpful for you. Let me know if you have any other questions. You can pop them below. And otherwise, let me know if you want me to do more of these Q&A questions because I actually do them on Instagram, and that's why if you haven't followed me yet on Instagram, definitely pop on over there. Go to @StartYourFashionBusiness because I actually drop daily fashion business tips there as well. Now, with that being said, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of my videos because I do drop one every week. And with that being said, I will see you next week.